This is definitely the most stubborn person in Russia. This is a true story. The old man and his family have been living here for generations. Clearly, the house belongs to them. Yet they still don't have the freedom to choose. The developers not only incite the emotions of the surrounding residents, they also frequently invite TV stations to expose the situation. Meanwhile, Grandpa Victor and his family are leisurely having breakfast. The eldest grandson wonders why they don't sell the old house. The son also blames the old man for being stubborn. It would be great if each person had their own apartment. But Grandpa believes this is not just an old house, but a home. He's old and can't get used to living in an apartment. He hopes to live here for 100 years. But even his granddaughter is against it. The family is so poor they can't even afford a school bag. Artyom listens quietly and then turns around. He'll finish delivering the takeout today, and buy you a new one. But before the words are finished, the roof suddenly collapses, leaving a big hole. It turns out the dumbbell was thrown from the high-rise balcony. The eldest grandson feels anxious every day. At this moment, the old man fell silent. But the family members had just left the house. The grandson reluctantly accepted the interview. Everyone is going through a hard time, why force others at every turn? Please make it clear, this is our own house. Build a private courtyard for them in the outskirts. The neighborhood aunties blamed them for lingering and not leaving. Originally, there was supposed to be a neighborhood park built here. Arjun was also very angry. We are the original residents, whether we move or not is entirely up to us. The developer boss was secretly amused on the side, turned around and entered the house. He wanted to negotiate with his grandfather again. But his grandfather did not welcome him. The boss expressed willingness to comply with the grandfather's wishes. Build a private courtyard for them in the outskirts. He vividly described the environment there with great emotion. Not only is it quiet, but the feng shui is also very good. The old man looked at the leaking roof, seriously asked the boss if he was being deceived. He himself is a veteran. He has no sense of humor. The boss said, if you don't believe me, come with me and you'll see. They then drove for 2 hours. They finally arrived at their destination. But never expected, the boss took the old man to the cemetery, told him that there were several apartments reserved for him across the cemetery. At this moment, the boss finally revealed his true colors. He asked the old man to be sensible, either agree honestly, or move into a private burial plot right now. The old man got angry. He pushed the boss down in one swift motion. Unexpectedly, the old man was tough. He would never bow down to evil forces. The boss, scared, quickly called for help from his employees. But at that moment, his subordinates mysteriously disappeared. The boss returned to the company in anger. He came up with a good idea. He spent a lot of money to hire crisis management expert Juan Mao. But as soon as Juan Mao entered, he praised the secretary for being beautiful. The boss asked him to get to the point quickly. Curly patted his chest to show, this is a piece of cake for him. He'll get it done in minutes for you. The two of them were chatting. It was a surprise to find that the downstairs tenant was setting off fireworks in the neighborhood. Curly came up with a plan. The boss turned and went to his son's room. A fire ignited the curtains. But Grandpa and his family were still in the dark. The next morning, waiting for his daughter to leave for school, the young couple originally planned to have a romantic time in the cowshed. But the next second, the cowshed had a wall knocked down. The two hurriedly fled. A bulldozer drove into the yard mightily. Grandpa hurriedly rushed out. But the boss was confident. He wasn't afraid of Grandpa reporting him. The two were about to have a conflict. Curly calmly stepped forward to mediate. Old man, you better take a look at this document first. Last night, fireworks were set off at your house. As a result, a fire broke out in one of the apartments. The old man was speechless. It turns out that the eldest son was released from prison last night. He celebrated by setting off fireworks at home. The boss gave the old man 2 options. Either bear a huge compensation or move out, and the boss will take care of the aftermath. The boss gave him a night to consider. The excavator will temporarily stop at your house. The boss turned around and proudly told everyone, tomorrow, this place will be leveled to the ground. The surrounding residents all turned to the old man for confirmation. The old man explained helplessly to the residents, we're not refusing to move because of money. Everyone wants to live in a better place. But the developer wants him to live across from the cemetery. Would you be willing to go if it were you? The key is that this place used to be a forest. But now the whole city is made of concrete and steel. The distance between young people and their parents is getting farther and farther. Moreover, most people still rely on their parents to afford a house. So, do we really need this kind of cage? Everyone fell silent, rendered speechless by the old man. On the other side, the boss swaggered back to the office. Just then, his beloved daughter came over. Xiaoxia is not only beautiful, but also quite clever. Strawberries are indeed delicious. Outside, grandson Xiaojie is mending his worn-out shoes. unexpectedly saw Xiaoxia coming out of the apartment. Xiaojie instantly became excited, started to show off his manly charm. But Xiaoxia just smiled sweetly, and then went straight into the luxury car. Meanwhile, on the other side, the grandfather was already secretly planning to engage in an all-out war with the boss. Grandfather had raised an old hen for 1 year and 3 months, only because it disturbed the rich second generation's dream. It tragically met its end with a shot. Although the grandfather felt heartbroken, he had after all seen many storms. He calmly chatted with his old comrades. What's the situation on the front line? The grandfather reported the loss of an old hen. An old comrade reminded him to defend the city well, so as not to be accidentally breached by the enemy. Grandpa smiled calmly. He also invited him to have chicken together in the evening. But Lao Tu's recent 3 highs are serious. He politely declined Grandpa's kindness. Moreover, Lao Tu is going on a long trip. He asked Grandpa to help feed the cat when he's free. Later, Grandpa set up a hot pot in the yard and started stewing an old hen. But his eldest son, who had just been released from prison, got into trouble again. It seems like someone is deliberately picking a fight, trying to get him back in prison. The old man was very helpless. He could only help his incompetent son solve the problem. He called the old leader. It turned out the boss was still causing trouble behind the scenes, trying to blackmail Grandpa with this. The boss was strategizing, thinking that this time, he would definitely make Grandpa leave obediently. Unexpectedly, the next moment, the old leader came knocking on the door. He is a famous old general. Even the boss has to be respectful. The old general asked him to handle the problem properly. Otherwise, it will be harmful to everyone if it escalates. If things really go wrong, I can't protect you either. He'll bring a gift to visit the old man later. Tea or coffee. He likes to eat pickled vegetables. The old leader brought pickled vegetables to the door. Grandpa is very happy. The leader praised him for being as strong as before. The 2 old buddies ate with pickled vegetables, started drinking vodka. After 3 rounds of drinks, the old leader started getting to the point. Having been retired for many years, only then did he understand some truths. Is the old platoon leader here this time to be a mediator for the boss? Not a reminder. He has a background. It's best not to confront head-on. If they want to cause trouble for your eldest son, it's as easy as turning their hand. Does that mean we deserve to live opposite the public offering? The leader said that's not what he meant, but he could only do his best to be a peacemaker. The 2 parted ways unhappily. On the other side, the eldest grandson also encountered trouble. That day in the school bathhouse, he found out that his clothes had mysteriously disappeared. His classmates looked surprised, then burst into laughter. It turned out to be a prank by the school bully. They loved to bully this poor kid. Xiaojie arrived at the classroom. The teacher looked puzzled. This style is quite unique. The groom in a wedding dress. Xiaoxia smiled sweetly again. After class, the school bully still enjoyed bullying Xiaojie. Fortunately, Xiaoxia came in time to stop it. He thought he had to return his school bag. Unexpectedly, it was thrown out of the window. Oh no. The classmates left in a swagger. Xiaojie could only accept his bad luck. What's even more frustrating is that the boss came for negotiations again. The old man warned him not to mess with his eldest son's ideas. Unexpectedly, the boss sneered sarcastically. It seems the veteran's will is not firm enough. I thought you would persist until the end. I thought you were the bayonet on the tank. The old man gritted his teeth. What kind of broken thing is this? This is my kettlebell. I thought where it ran off to. Before leaving, the boss said the lawyer has prepared the contract. It will be delivered here in half an hour. The old man is already uncontrollably angry. His deceased spouse from many years ago is his only spiritual support. We cannot let these brats trample our homeland, but we cannot make meaningless sacrifices. If I give up resistance, even my ancestors from 18 generations will not forgive me. Where are you going? Start the war. The old man took out the long-sealed sniper rifle, arrived at the old comrade's house, skillfully loaded the bullets. The old man aimed at the boss, just about to pull the trigger, but the old partner came out to stop it. The old man couldn't restrain the soldier's blood, but the voice of the old partner kept echoing in his mind. He saw the boss about to enter the apartment. What a coincidence. The old bald man is back. What are you doing? Now both of them were instantly confused. The old bald man was worried about being arrested for conspiracy. Grandpa told him to calm down. Figure it out yourself. Seeing that the fire had reached their own yard, the old man ran in a hurry. Brother, what should I do? Don't run around, stay here and listen to my instructions. But the boss luxury car was completely destroyed. He unexpectedly saw the old man running in from the backyard. anxiously started to put out the fire. The fire truck arrived shortly after. The police conducted a thorough investigation. Bullet holes were found on the car door. The boss immediately questioned the old man. "Don't make baseless accusations. I saw you sneaking in from the back door. I went to feed a friend's cat. Don't believe me, go ask yourself." Sure enough, there is a suspicious person upstairs. The boss angrily rushed over. Grandpa quickly called Old Baldy, immediately picked up the gun, and threw it to me from upstairs. But never expected. The boss couldn't open the door. Turned around and came back. Now the evidence is conclusive. The old man is doomed this time. Successfully sent to prison. What kind of prison life will Grandpa face? This is a true story. Nail House Grandpa was sentenced to prison for the first time in 70 years. The most infuriating thing is, just because he sat in the wrong bed, he was bullied by the prison bully. Grandpa slowly got up, easily pulled apart the steel bars. Without saying a word, he punched. With a click, he stuffed the bald head into the gap, then firmly pinned him down. Grandpa is tough and doesn't say much. Made the prison bully obedient. But just as he lay down for a short while, the prison guard came to call the old man. It turned out to be the eldest son coming to deliver food. These are all things Arjun brought from the part-time restaurant. Remember to visit your mother at the cemetery. Today is her birthday. D.H. Yong expressed that he would definitely find a way to save his father. But the old man felt that hope was slim. D.H. Yong was very surprised. Father has become much more low-key. He reassured his father. He planned an excellent rescue plan, and will cooperate with his younger brother to implement it. The old man was very relieved. The two brothers have always been at odds. Pay attention to safety. Father, take care of yourself. The prison bully begged repeatedly for mercy, expressing a deep understanding of the mistake, realizing one's own ignorance. The poor old man is very kind, thinking that they are all fellow inmates. Forgive others as you would like to be forgiven. He gave everyone the best part of the lobster. He only ate what was left. On the other side, the boss is in high spirits. But the next second, the eldest son arrives at the office. He discusses with the boss if they can postpone moving for a few days. But the boss thinks he is not qualified to negotiate terms. If the incident of you setting off fireworks and burning the apartment is exposed, you will end up in jail just like your father. If you move out before 2 p.m. today, he'll let you off the hook. Da Chiang feels a bit rushed for time. But the boss has already prepared the moving truck. Da Chiang can only comply helplessly. But the boss is a cunning old fox. He keeps an eye on the two brothers moving. At this moment, Xiao Chiang is struggling to push a large box. The boss is curious about what this is. Xiao Chiang explains that it's trash. It turns out that Da Chiang is inside the box. He warns his younger brother not to reveal the secret. Then he bursts out of the box. He runs off immediately. Xiao Chiang quickly changes into his brother's clothes. He successfully deceives the boss. "Brother, don't forget to roll up the carpet. Take everything you can with you, don't waste. It's almost 2 o'clock. The boss starts urging. But Da Chiang hasn't come back yet. The younger brother hurriedly called him. The older brother told him not to panic. Relax, everything's in order. Da Chiang smoothly sneaked in from the backyard. Started moving the boxes back. The boss looks confused. "We don't want to move anymore." The boss got angry. "Have you played house before? Call the police to arrest you immediately. Prison is my second home. Why would I be afraid of the police?" The boss got scared and ran away. On the other side, the grandson Xiaojie also started to get angry. At this moment, the rich girl is showing off in the classroom. She even mocked Xiaojie for only being able to use an old phone. Unexpectedly, the next second, Xiaojie directly put the phone into sulfuric acid. "Tell your dad not to mess with my family." After class, Xiao found Xiaojie showing off, indicating that he doesn't care. "I can just buy a new phone." But Xiaojie laughed at her as a fool. This successfully aroused the girl's curiosity. No one has dared to confront her like this before. Sulfuric acid does not affect plastic packaging. It's obvious she didn't pay attention in chemistry class. Idiot. We are indeed poor. But we are not bad people. Yet Xiaoxia's father remains aggressive. He used his connections to call the police for evidence. But just as he entered the house, he was dumbfounded. The curtains unexpectedly returned to their original state. Clearly, they were lit at that time. It's like seeing a ghost. But the boss immediately regained his composure. It must have been those two brothers playing tricks. How did they manage to do it? It turns out Da Chiang took advantage of the moving gap to come to the boss house with Arjun. Using the lockpicking skills he learned during his prison labor reform, he successfully sneaked into the house. At this moment, the young policeman was at a loss. "I've really raised a bunch of useless people." At this moment, the boss suddenly had a bright idea. He came up with a plan. Once again, a drama of thieves accusing each other unfolded. The next moment, the boss arrived with the police. The police warned Xiang. He will face criminal charges for suspected arson. Surprisingly, the family members remained calm. They all appeared confident. The boss mocked them for being foolish. Unexpectedly, Xiang suddenly took out his phone. What a bunch of useless people I've raised. The young policeman looked panicked. The boss once again scolded the young policeman for being useless. I have an even better video here. Xiang threatened the boss that the video would be uploaded to all online platforms and handed over to the Federal Investigation Committee. Unless you find a way to release my father. Once you do, the video will be deleted. The boss was speechless.